Yes, so this is chapter 17th of Bhagavad Gita, text 20. Datavyam iti yaddanam diyate nupakarma. Diyate nupakarine deshe kale cha patre cha taddanam satvikam smritam. Charity given out of duty without expecting anything in return. Charity given at a proper time, proper place, to a worthy person is considered to be in the mode of goodness. We have to look at Desh, Kal, Patra. We say time, place, circumstances. This comes from here. Desh, Kal, Patra. We have to see what is the place, what is the time, and who the Patra is, the recipient, the person. All of that should be proper. If it is proper, worthy of giving, datavyam means worth giving, then it is satvikam, danam. Purport by our beloved founder Acharya, His Divine Grace, Srila Abhay Charanarvinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. In the Vedic literature, charity, danam, given to a person engaged in spiritual activities is recommended. There is no recommendation for giving charity indiscriminately. Sometimes charity is asked from us. And charity certainly must be given, but it should be given to the proper recipient. And it should be given selflessly, without expecting anything in return. Anupakarine. We are not expecting any upakar, that they will do something back for us. No. Anupakarine. That type of charity should be given without expecting anything in return. Now, sometimes we are going and some indigent people, panhandlers or beggars, they may ask charity. And in my experience, I have seen many a time they are indulging in intoxicants. They are smoking, they are on drugs. Sometimes they have become beggars because of their drug problem. Of course, sometimes it's just bad luck, misfortune that puts them on the streets. But many a time, because I have taken care of indigent people and I continue to do so, it is their addiction problem that lands them in a state of being unhoused, or as we say, homeless. Also, sometimes we go to the dham, the holy place. We are in Shri Vrindavan Dham, and we go to certain temples and we see people, the Dhamvasis, asking us for money, pestering us for money. So the question that is asked is, are we obligated to give every single time? We may go to Radha Kund, we may go to Govardhan, or we may be in some other holy place. And sometimes small children, sometimes adults, they may run after us asking for money. It is the opinion of our acharyas that we are not required to give them. We can say, Hare Krishna, please forgive me. We are not obliged to give just because it is the dham. We should give in the dham to the dhamvasis if we can. It is seva of the dhamvasis. But again, sometimes we may see people smoking a bidi, even in the dham, and asking money. Or sometimes people in the dham giving bad words or threatening us that give, otherwise you'll get bad. I have experienced that. Give, otherwise you will get, misfortune or something. So when such people, even in the dham, they ask for money, We do not have to give. We do not have to give. There are other ways of doing Dham Seva and Dhamvasi Seva. So please don't feel obliged to give money to Dhamvasis just because they are Dhamvasis. Charity should be given to a proper recipient. And Dhamvasi does not mean only one who physically resides in the holy Dham. This is explained by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, and this is also explained in one conversation by Srila Gaur Govinda Swami Maharaj. Srila Gaur Govinda Swami Maharaj is sitting in Bhaktivedanta Manor in UK, and he's asked this question that we go to Radha Kund, we go to holy place, and sometimes people come and they start asking us for money. So do we have to give because they are sadhus? Srila Gaur Govind Maharaj said, a sadhu will never ask you for money. Period. Charity should be given to sadhus, and a sadhu will never, ever ask for money. Sadhu is one who is doing bhajan. They will never ask for money. You go and meet the real sadhus of Vrindavan. You go and meet the real sadhus of Radhakund, the real sadhus of Barsana, the real sadhus of Vrindavan. They will never, ever, ever ask you for money. And they are the ones we should give to. Of course, someone is genuinely impoverished materially and needs help. There are many old people, many widows who go to Vrindavan, and they are depending on the generosity of the Shraddhalu Bhaktas who come to the Dham. And certainly we should serve them. We can give them money, we can give them prasad, we can give them clothes. But when someone threatens or someone tries to scare you into giving charity or just pesters you tremendously, give, running after you, pulling your dhoti, we don't have to give. Because charity should be given to the right person at the right place with the right intention. And you will see that in the next verse, why we should not give such people. Text 21. Srila Prabhupada in the purport to text 20 clearly says that charity should be given to a qualified Brahman or a Vaishnava devotee, or charity should be given to temples. Srila Prabhupada clearly writes in the purport. And then Srila Prabhupada says charity to the poor is sometimes given out of compassion. But if the poor person is not worthy of giving charity to, then there is no spiritual advancement. And such indiscriminate charity is not recommended in the Vedas. Srila Prabhupada clearly says. So, who is worthy of receiving charity? Someone who is a devotee, someone who is a Brahman, or temple. These are the qualified recipients. Now, of course, out of compassion, we may do, but we should know that there is no spiritual advancement there. There is no spiritual advancement there. And that's okay. We can still do it on a humanitarian, compassionate ground. But again, that should also be given to someone who is qualified, like a genuinely financially impoverished Dhamvasi or old Dhamvasi, a Dhamvasi who is suffering from some disease, has had amputation, has got leprosy, or something that makes them disadvantaged. We can give money, we can give prasad, we can give clothes. That's very good. We should do that. But we should not expect anything in return. We should do it for the sake of doing our duty to them as fellow devotees or as fellow human beings. 21. यत्तु प्रत्युपकारार्थं फलम् उद्दिश्य वा पुनः दीयते च परिक्लिष्टं तद्दानं राजसं स्मृतम्. But charity performed with the expectation of some return. Pratyupakarartham. Previously, it was the word used was anupakarine, anupakarine. Here, pratyupakarartham. Anupakarine means you are not expecting anything in return. But pratyupakarartham means you are expecting something in return. That they will do upkar. They will give in return. So charity performed with the expectation of some return. Ki if I give money here, they will recognize me. If I give money here, then I will get some special treatment in this organization. Or if I give money here, I will go to heaven. I will get lots of good luck. I will get more money in my next life. So when we are having such an expectation of return, then that is not good. Phalam uddishya punah. Or if we do it with a fruitive result, we expect some returns. I give $1,000 in charity. In my next life, I'll get $100,000 back or $1 million back. So then that is fruitive activity. It is called phalam uddeshya. The uddesh is to get some phal, some fruit. So it's fruitive activity. Or diyate cha pariklishtam. Pariklishtam means with a grudging mood, begrudgingly. If we give something begrudgingly, then I don't want to give, but what to do? I'm being forced. My family member, parent or children or spouse is kind of pestering me to give. Okay, okay, Baba, I'll give. Here it is. So we give in a grudging mood. Tad danam rajasam smritam. Smritam means considered. Tad danam means such type of charity. Rajasam. It is in the mode of passion. Which charity is in the mode of passion? Charity given with pratyupakarartham for the sake of getting something back. Phalam uddesha vapuna, or we expect some result, positive result from that charity in return. Diyate cha pariklishtam, or giving in a grudging mood, not with a happy mood, but a grudging mood. That is charity in the mode of passion. Because you don't want to part with your wealth, but theek hai, I'm being forced. My hand is being twisted by this person, so I will give. So that is not good. Purport. Srila Prabhupada writes, charity is sometimes performed for elevation to the heavenly kingdom, and sometimes with great trouble, and with repentance afterwards. Pariklishtam. Repentance means, why have I spent so much in this way? So that is also not good. Charity is also sometimes given under some obligation at the request of a superior. Very well. Sometimes some family member may put pressure, give, or some uncle, auntie may come, or some senior devotee may come and say, you have to give for this project. Chalo, donate karo. We are being forced. Our hand is being twisted. They give. Okay, 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 I'll give. $100. Le lo. So that type of charity, it is rajasic. It is in the mode of passion. When we are giving it under some obligation at the request of somebody. These kinds of charity are said to be in the mode of passion, Srila Prabhupada says. And this charity is not recommended. Srila Prabhupada says only charity in the mode of goodness is recommended. Text 22. Adesha kale yaddanam apatrebhyascha diyate asatkritam avatnyatam tattamasam udaritam. Udaritam means it is called, it is said. Tamasam means in the mode of ignorance. Tamasic dan. Which dan? Adesha kale yad danam. Danam means charity given adesha at a impure place. And akal means given at a impure time. Not proper consideration of the time. And charity given to apatrebhyah. Apatrebhyah means one who does not have patrata, one who does not have yogyata, one who does not have the qualification to receive charity. If such a person is given charity, someone who is going to purchase meat with that, they will go and buy a McDonald's hamburger with the money you gave them, or they will smoke a cigarette or do drugs, then that type of charity is tamasam udaritam. It is called charity in the mode of ignorance. So all of us give charity. We should be careful where we give charity. Bhagavad Gita is teaching us. Charity performed at an impure place, adesha. Charity performed at an impure time, kal. Charity given to unworthy persons, apatrebhya. They don't have patrata. And charity without proper attention and respect. Asatkritam, avadnyatam. Avadnya means without proper attention and respect. And asatkritam means without respect. Without respect, without proper attention, neglectfully, if it is done, then such charity, such danam, is said to be in the mode of ignorance. Tamasam udaritam. It's tamasic. Now, the purport is very interesting. Please listen carefully. Srila Prabhupada writes, contributions for indulgence in intoxication and gambling are not encouraged. So we should not give charity to people who will indulge in intoxication and gambling. Gambling means they'll buy some lottery tickets. In India, they play satta. All these things are, we should not support these things. Charity to a suitable person, but without respect and without attention, is also tamasic. Now, very interesting. Suppose we give charity to someone who has patrata, he has eligibility, but we give it without respect for that person. We give charity without proper attention. And you just go with throw it. Hey, take this $100 bill. Neglectfully. Avadnya. You're not paying proper attention, proper respect. Then that charity also is in the mode of ignorance. Because you're giving that charity out of ego, ahankar. Or you're looking down at that person. You're disrespecting that person. Such charity is in the mode of ignorance. So, which charity is in the mode of ignorance? Charity given at an impure place. You go and you give charity to the Braves stadium where they play baseball. There are people, they are sponsors. Big, big banks, multinational companies are sponsoring. Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta, Georgia. You donate for that cause. It may be prestigious. They may have your company name. But what is happening there? People are eating beef jerky, people are eating hamburgers, people are drinking beer every time when they come for those games. Do you know how many cows have been killed to satisfy the taste buds of the 25-30,000 people who come there? The numbers are mind-boggling. So we should not support such causes. So charity should be given where intoxication, gambling, meat eating, illicit sex is not happening. Otherwise, that charity will be degraded to the mode of ignorance. Text 23. Om Tat Sad iti nirdesho brahmanastri vidha smritah brahmanastena vedascha yajnascha vihita pura. From the beginning of the creation, the three words Om Tat Sat were used to indicate the Brahman, Supreme Absolute Truth. Supreme Absolute Truth, Brahman, is indicated by Om Tat Sat. And this Supreme Absolute Truth eternally exists in three levels of realizations. Vadanti Tattva Vidas, this Tattva, the real truth, Absolute Truth means Tattva. Tattva means truth. The Supreme Absolute Truth is called Tattva, Param Tattva. Vadanti Tattvavidas, those who are Tattvavid, the great sadhus, pandits, rishi munis, vadanti, they say, vadanti tattvavidas tattvam yajnanam advayam. That tattva is advaya, it is non-dual. It does not have duality, birth and death, disease and health, existence and non-existence, manifestation and unmanifestation, happiness and distress, gain and loss. These dualities do not exist in the Param Tattva, in the Supreme Absolute Truth. Therefore, the word uses advayam. There is no dvayam, there is no duality. Vadanti tat tattvavidas tattvam yad jnanam advayam brahmeti paramatmeti bhagavan iti shabdyate. That Param Tattva exists in three features: Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan. So, this Supreme Absolute Truth, this Tattva, Param Tattva, this Brahman, this Paramatma, this Bhagavan is indicated by three words in the Shabda Brahma, in the Vedic Shastra, Vedic literatures. Om Tat Sat. Shri Krishna is saying this. Om Tat Sat iti nirdesho brahmanas. It indicates, nirdesh means it indicates Brahman, the Supreme Lord. From the beginning of creation, the three words Om Tat Sat were used to indicate a supreme absolute truth. These three symbolic representations were used by Brahmanas. Brahmanas tena Vedascha Yajnascha Vihita Pura. Used by Brahmanas while chanting the Vedic hymns and used during sacrifices for the satisfaction of the Supreme Lord. All yajnas are performed for Yajnesh. Krishna's name is Yajna. So wherever Yajna is used, Yajnascha Vihita Pura. One may say, Are yaar, in this shloka, there is no mention of performing sacrifices for the satisfaction of the Supreme. Why Prabhupada has put that in the translation? Because by very definition, Yajna means it is for the sake of Lord Vishnu. Because one of the incarnations of Lord Vishnu is Yajna. So Yajna is always for Yajnesh. Krishna is called Yajna Purush. Shri Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Aham hi sarva yajnanam bhokta cha prabhureva cha. I am the master and the enjoyer. Prabhu means master. Aham hi, not kinchid yajnanam. Aham hi sarva yajnanam. Not some yajnas, all yajnas. Aham hi sarva yajnanam bhokta cha prabhur eva cha. Natumam abhijananti tatvenatas chavanti te. If you don't understand this, don't recognize this, you will fall down, Shri Krishna says. We have to understand that Shri Krishna is the only enjoyer of all sacrifices. And he is the enjoyer, he is the master, Prabhu and Bhokta. So when Yajna word is used by Krishna, Srila Prabhupada is telling us it is for the sake of Lord Vishnu. It is for the sake of the Supreme Lord. There is nothing wrong in saying that, satisfaction of the Supreme. Yajnarthat karmano, Bhagavad Gita says that karma has to be performed for the sake of Yajna. Yajna in that shloka refers to Vishnu. Vishnu's name is Yajna. It has been explained that penance, sacrifice, charity, and food are divided into three categories: mode of goodness, passion, and ignorance. Everybody remembers? Penance means tapasya, sacrifice means yajna, charity means dan, and anna means food. We have discussed this. There are three types of food: sattvic, rajasic, tamasic. There are three types of charity, dan, three types of yajna, sacrifice, three types of tapasya, penance, goodness, passion, and ignorance. But whether first class, second class, or third class, goodness, passion, ignorance, they are all conditioned, they are all contaminated by the material modes of nature. So all these activities, whether they are done in a sattvic way, rajasic way, tamasic way, they are all conditional, they are all contaminated because they are still influenced by the modes of material nature. When they are aimed at the Supreme, Om Tat Sat, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Eternal, then these activities of penance, sacrifice, charity, and food, tapa, dana, yajna, and anna, they become spiritual. All these activities become spiritual when we say Om Tat Sat. When we do them for the sake of the Supreme Absolute Truth, Om Tat Sat. All these material activities become spiritual. This is very, very important. In the purport, Srila Prabhupada says, whenever a Vedic hymn or the holy name of the Supreme Lord is uttered, Om is added. This is the indication of the Vedic literature. Om or Pranam. Om is added before any. So we say Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, like that. These three words are taken from Vedic hymns. And Srila Prabhupada gives several references from Chandogya Upanishad, how these words Om Tat Sat are mentioned in the Upanishads, which are part of the Vedas. And in Bhagavad Gita also, Om Tat Sat is clearly mentioned directly by Swayam Bhagavan Krishna. 24. Tasmad Omit Udahritya Yajna Tapakriyaha Pravartante Vidhanoktaha Satatam Brahmavadinam. Shri Krishna is saying, therefore, the transcendentalists, Brahmavadi. Brahmavadi means the transcendentalists, those who are walking on the path of Brahman. Therefore, the transcendentalists, Brahmavadi, undertaking performance of sacrifice, yajna, charity, dan, and penance, tapaha, in accordance with scriptural regulations, begin always with Om. Tasmad Om it udarhitya. Pravartante vidhanokta. Pravartante means beginning. Before undertaking yajna, dan, tapasya, the transcendentalists, those who are well informed, the Brahmavadis, they begin always with the vibration of Om to attain the Supreme. They chant Om. Tasmad. Therefore, they chant Om because Om represents the Supreme Absolute Truth. Param Tattva. 25. Tad it अनभिसन्धाय फलं यज्ञ तपः क्रियाः दान क्रियाश्च विविधाः क्रियन्ते मोक्षकांक्षिभिः without desiring fruitive results. Anabhisandhaya phalam means not expecting any phal, any fruitive results. One should perform various kinds of yajna, sacrifice, tapah, penance, and dan, charity, with the word tat, tat, tat prityartham. Means I'm doing this for Radha Krishna, for their tat, means for their sake. The purpose of such transcendental activities is to get free from material entanglement. We can become free from material entanglement when, without expecting in return, we engage in yajna, tapa, dan, kriya. We engage and we do it for tat. Tad it anabhisandhaya. Without expecting anything, but we do it for tat. Tat means that Supreme Person, Krishna. The purpose of such transcendental activities is to get free from material entanglement. Once we do that, we offer everything to Krishna, we work for Krishna, then we become free from material entanglement. Moksha Kankshibhi. Those who are actually eligible for liberation, they will do that. They will do everything for the Supreme Absolute Truth with the word Tat. 26 and 27. Sadbhave sadhu bhave cha saddit etat prayujyate prashaste karmani tatha sachabda पार्थयुज्यते यज्ञे तपसि दाने च स्थिति सद् इति चोच्यते कर्म चैव तदर्थीयं सद्यत्येवाभिधीयते. The absolute truth is the objective of devotional service, and it is indicated by the word Sat. The absolute truth to be attained by the Satam, the devotees, is called Sat. The performer of such sacrifice is also called Sat, as are all works of sacrifice, penance, and charity, which, true to the absolute nature, are performed to please the Supreme Person, O son of Partha, O son of Pritha. Hey Partha, Kuntinandan, Arjun, the performer of such sacrifices, who are doing it for the Supreme Absolute Truth, Om Tat Sat, is also called Sat. The performer is also called Sat. And all the works, all the activities in terms of yajna, tapa, and dan, sacrifice, penance, and charity, they also all become sat. Sat means spiritual, chinmay. In the purport, Srila Prabhupada writes, when initiating a person during Diksha or offering the sacred thread, when the thread ceremony is done, Upanayan Samskar, or when we get second initiation, one vibrates the words Om Tat Sat. Similarly, in all kinds of performance of yajna, wherever yajna is done, the object is the supreme, represented by Om Tat Sat. Last sentence. These supreme words, Om Tat Sat, are thus used in many ways to perfect all activities and make everything complete. Therefore, you'll see some of our Gurujan, like His Holiness Shripad Vaisheshika Maharaj, he always says Om Tat Sat. After giving any speech, any pravachan, any class, always he will say Om Tat Sat. So that makes everything complete and perfect. Text 28. अश्रद्धया हुतं दत्तं तपस्तप्तं कृतं च यत् असद् इत उच्यते पार्थ न च तत् pretyano iha. Anything done as a sacrifice, charity, or penance, yajna, dan, tapa, without faith, ashraddhaya, hutam. Hutam means offered in sacrifices. Dattam, or any charity that is given. Or tapas, taptam, means any tapasya that is done. If it is done ashraddhaya, if it is done without faith, O son of Pritha, then it becomes asad. It becomes non-permanent. It becomes impermanent. It is called asat and is useless both in this life and the next. Nachatat pretya no iha means no iha, neither in this life nor in the next life. Pretya means after death. It will be useless because it was done without faith. Even if the activity was a spiritual activity, sacrifice, charity, and tapasya, penance. But if it is done without faith, then it will be useless in this life and in the next life. Therefore, whatever we do, tapasya, dan, yajna, it should be done with faith. Yajna sankirtana prayer. Sankirtan is a yajna. Yajnanam japa yajñosmi. Shri Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita. Japa yajna is the best yajna. So doing japa is a yajna. Doing Harinam Sankirtan is a yajna. It should be done properly. Tapasya, fasting on Ekadashi, fasting on the appearance day of Krishna, Srimati Radharani, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Sri Nityananda Prabhu, Ityadi. Fasting on the appearance day of our Guru Maharaj. All this is to be done for the pleasure of Krishna. Radha Krishna Prityartham. And similarly, whatever charity we give, donations we give, we should give, certainly give. But they should be given to the proper person at a proper time in a proper place without expecting anything in return. Anything done as sacrifice, charity, or penance without faith in the Supreme is impermanent. It is asad and it is useless in this life and in the next. In the purport, Srila Prabhupada writes, anything done without the transcendental objective, whether it be sacrifice, charity, or penance, is useless. Next paragraph. In the conditional state, people are attracted to worshipping demigods, ghosts, yakshas like Kuber, etc. The mode of goodness is better than the modes of passion and ignorance. But one who takes directly to Krishna consciousness is transcendental to all three modes of material nature. Although there is a process of gradual elevation, if one, by the association of pure devotees, takes directly to Krishna consciousness, then that is the best way. Very important point Srila Prabhupada is saying. Srila Prabhupada says for spiritual progress, there is krama. There is a step-by-step process. That first you do the pravritti marg, then you come to the nivritti marg, cultivate knowledge, all those things. You start meditating on the Supreme, and for that you need Ashtanga Yoga, Yam, Niyam, Asan, Pranayam, ityadi. You need all that. And the human life is so short. Already we have heart blockages, stroke, cancer. So many things are going on in old age, frailty, memory loss. I don't know what I just spoke. Ah, so there is a gradual process. We make step-by-step progress. Or Srila Prabhupada says something very beautiful, by the association of a pure devotee. If we can directly jump to the platform of Krishna consciousness. Instead of going through a gradual process of pravritti marg, then nivritti marg, jnana marg, dhyana marg, and then bhakti marg. Instead of going step by step up the yoga ladder, if by the association of a pure devotee, that is the key. Satam prasangan mama virya samvido bhavantirit karna rasayanak तज्जोषणालाशपवर्ग वर्त्मनु श्रद्धारतिर भक्तिर अनुक्रमिष्यति. If somehow by good fortune we are able to hear from the Satam, we are able to associate with Prasangam, with the pure devotees, and we hear Krishna Katha, which is like Rasayan, Karna Rasayan, it is an elixir, it's nectar for the ears. Then Shraddha, Ratir, Bhakti, Anukramishi. Shraddha, Anartha Nivritti, Nishtha, Asakti, Bhav, and Bhakti means Prema Bhakti. Shraddha, Ratir, Bhakti, Anukramishati. We'll get. So somehow by the association of devotees, if we directly come to the platform of Bhakti, instead of going through all the Pravritti means Karma Kand, Nivritti means Jnana Kand. Then to properly practice Jnana Kand, make progress, one needs Ashtanga Yoga for Dhyan. And then one may come to Bhakti. But by the association of pure devotee like Srila Prabhupada, if we directly take to Bhakti Yoga, Srila Prabhupada says that is the best. Why we should eat like this? Directly you can eat like this. So that is the best way. Thus end the Bhaktivedanta purports to the 17th chapter of the Srimad Bhagavad Gita in the matter of the divisions of faith. Chapter 18, Conclusion, the perfection of renunciation. This is the final chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Text 1, Arjuna Uvacha. So everybody understood? All these charity, yajna, tapasya, food, everything is divided by the three modes of material nature, the three types. Sattvic, Rajasic, Tamasic. But Om Tat Sat, if we focus on the Supreme Absolute Truth, Shri Krishna, and cook food for Krishna, the way Krishna likes, we do dan for Krishna, to Krishna's devotees, to Krishna's temple. We perform yajna to please Krishna, Nam Sankirtan yajna, Japa yajna. And we perform tapasya for the sake of purifying our heart and coming closer to Krishna and pleasing Krishna, like Ekadashi Vrat, Janmashtami Vrat, Balram Purnima Vrat, Radhashtami Vrat. We do it for the sake of Radha Krishna Pratyartham, for the sake of pleasing Radha Krishna. Then we are directly situated on the platform of bhakti, and that is the best way. So pure bhakti is being stressed here also. Now let's see in the last final chapter, 18th chapter, what Arjun is saying. Arjun Uvacha Sannyasasya Mahabaho Tattvam Ichchami Veditum Tyagasya cha Rishikesha Prithakkeshi Nishudana. Ah, very beautiful. Perfection of renunciation. Conclusion. This is the 18th chapter. Translation. Srila Prabhupada writes, Shri Arjun said, O Mahabaho, O mighty armed Krishna, I wish to understand the purpose of renunciation, tyagasya, and the purpose of renounced order of life, sannyas. Sannyasasya tapas tyagasya. I want to understand what is sannyas and what is tyag. O killer of Keshi demon, Keshi Nishudana, O master of the senses, Rishikesha, please explain because I desire to understand. I want to know the truth. Tattvam ichchami veditum. Veditum means I want to understand. Veditum means understand. Remember, in those of you who are second initiated, in the Gayatri mantras, the word vidmahe comes. Means to understand. Veditum ichchami. I desire to understand what is tyag and what is sannyas. Purport. Srila Prabhupada writes, actually the Bhagavad Gita is finished in 17 chapters. Hari Bol. Ho gaya. This module is over. The 18th chapter is a supplementary summarization of the topics discussed before. But like any good teacher, Bhagavan Shri Krishna likes to summarize what has been taught. This 18th chapter, just like the second chapter of Bhagavad Gita, is a summary. Now, go to the second last paragraph in the middle. Srila Prabhupada writes, Arjun wants to clarify the two distinct subject matters of Bhagavad Gita, namely Tyag, renunciation, and Sannyas, renounced order of life. Thus, Arjun is asking Shri Krishna the meaning of these two words, Tyag, renunciation, and Sannyas, renounced order of life. Also, Srila Prabhupada continues in the last paragraph, something very interesting. Two words used in this verse to address the Supreme Personality of Godhead are Rishikesh and Keshi Nishudana. They're significant. Srila Prabhupada explains. Rishikesh is Krishna, the master of the senses, who can always help us attain mental serenity. Krishna can help us attain mental serenity. If we are having trouble maintaining our mental serenity, we should pray to Krishna. Arjun requests him to summarize everything in such a way that he can remain equipoised. Yet he has some doubts, and doubts are always compared to demons. Shamshayatma vinashyati. Doubts can be very troublesome. So they are compared to demons. Arjun therefore addresses Krishna as Keshi Nishudana. Keshi was the most formidable demon who was killed by Lord Krishna. Now Arjun is expecting Krishna to kill the demon of doubt. Therefore, Keshi Nishudanam, one who killed the demon Keshi, Arjun is implying that, O Shri Krishna, please kill the demon of doubt in my mind. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, Shri Bhagavan Uvacha, Kamyanam Karmanam Nyasam Sannyasam Kavayo Vidu Sarva Karma Phala Tyagam Prahustyagam Vichakshanaha. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Bhagavan Shri Krishna, said to Arjun, the giving up of activities that are based on material desire, karma kandi activities, kamyanam karmanam, activities to fulfill one's own desires, material desires, Giving them up is called tyag. It is called renunciation. So, what is renunciation? Giving up activities of sense gratification. Now, what is sannyas? I beg your pardon. Sannyas is giving up activities that are based on material desire. It's called sannyas. And what is tyag? Giving up the results of activity is called tyag. I repeat, please pay attention. Giving up activities that are based on material desires is called sannyas. Now we are performing activities. Giving up attachment to the fruits of our activities is called tyag. Tyag means to give up attachment to the fruits of work, and sannyas means to give up work which is based on material desire. Everybody got it? Nandini, explain.
Um, Tyag means to give up attachment to the fruits of our work, whereas sannyas means to completely give up all work, which causes material desires.
Work based on material desires. Giving that work up is sannyas. Giving up attachment to the fruits of our work. Arey yaar, I worked so hard, still I didn't get promotion. Giving up attachment to the fruits of our work is called tyag. Okay? So, Krishna, what was Arjun's question?
Arjun's question was, what is the what is it called? What is the um, what is the purpose of tyag? And what is the purpose of sannyas?
Very good. Excellent. Haridas Anudas. What is sannyas and what is tyag?
Prabhuji, sannyas means to give up all work altogether, not doing any karma. But tyag means
So
giving
sannyas
up,
means giving up the work of chanting.
no Prabhuji,
What is
all
sannyas?
material activities. All
Ah,
material activities.
ah,
And tyag means giving up all the fruits, all the karma phalas of all those activities.
very good, very good. Yuvraj, what is sannyas?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Sannyas is the giving up of all material activities.
Very good. And Apurva Prem. What is tyag?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Tyag is giving up the results of the activity.
Giving up the attachment to the results of activity. Very good. So this is clear now. What is tyag and what is sannyas? The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Bhagavan Shri Krishna said, the giving up of activities based on material desire is sannyas, renounced order of life. And giving up the results of all activities is called renunciation, tyag. Now, the result of activities we may still accept if it is for Krishna's service. Therefore, giving up the attachment to the results of activities. For example, Maharaj Pratap Rudra is collecting tax from the citizens, but that money, he is not rejecting it. That would be Phalgu Vairagya. To not see the connection with Krishna. He is taking the money, but using it in the service of Lord Jagannath and Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and all the devotees and all the citizens. So he is a tyagi because he is not attached to the fruits of results. Now, purport. In the Vedic literature, there are many prescriptions of methods for performing sacrifice for some particular purpose. There are certain sacrifices to perform to attain a good son, to attain elevation to heavenly planets. But sacrifices like this, which are prompted by material desires, are to be stopped. They are to be stopped. However, sacrifice for the purification of one's heart, cheto darpana marjanam, or for advancement in the spiritual science should not be given up. Activities that purify the heart, activities that help us make spiritual advance should not be given up. But activities that are prompted by material desires should be given up. Text 3. Tyajyam doshavadyeke karma prahur manishinaha yajnadaana tapah karma natyajyam iti chapare. Shri Krishna says, some learned men, Manishi, the learned people, the great thinkers, they declare that all kinds of fruitive activities should be given up as faulty. Tyajam doshavadit eke karma prahu. They say that all karma should be given up. Yet, other sages, Chapare, others, they maintain that acts of sacrifice, charity, and penance should never be abandoned. Yajna dana tapa karma na tyajam should never be given up. Charity, penance, and sacrifice, yajna, dan, tapa, should never be given up. These three activities should never be given up, is the opinion of some. Some say all activities should be given up. Kuch mat karo. Give up everything. Some say that no, 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 no. Yajna you have to perform. No, 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 no. Dan you have to give. No, 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 no. Tapasya you have to perform. Two opinions are there, Shri Krishna says. Text 4. Nischayam shrunu me tatra tyage bharata sattama त्यागो hi purusha vyagra trividha sampakirtitaha. O Purusha Vyagra, O tiger among men, O Bharata Sattama, O best of the descendants of Bharat Maharaj. Now hear my judgment. Nishchayam Shrunu me. Now hear my judgment. I said some Manishi some great learned thinkers, philosophers, they say all work should be given up. Some say that no, 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 no. All work should not be given up. In fact, Yajna, Tapa, Dan, these three activities, performing sacrifices, performing charity, giving of charity, and performing austerities, tapasya. These three things should never be given up. Shri Krishna says, Nishchayam Shrunume. Now hear from me what is my opinion. O best of the Bharatas, now hear my judgment about renunciation. O tiger among men, renunciation is declared in the scriptures to be of three kinds. Tyag is also of three types. Although, in the purport, Srila Prabhupada writes, there are different opinions about renunciation, Tyag. Here, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, gives his Nishchay, gives his certain opinion. Certainty, with certainty, authority, he is giving his opinion, his judgment, which should be taken as final. After all, the Vedas are different laws given by Lord Krishna. So we should take Krishna's opinion as the highest. Now, text 5, last verse for today. Shri Krishna says, Yajnadana tapa karma natyajyam karyameva tat yajnyo danam tapaschaiva pavanani manishinam. Acts of sacrifice, charity and penance are not to be given up. They must be performed. Indeed, sacrifice, charity and penance purify even the great souls. Manishanam means the great souls. Pavanani means purify them. Even the great souls become purified by yajna dan tapa karma. By performing acts of, karma means acts of yajna, sacrifice, dan, charity, and tapaha, tapasya, austerities. Therefore, these three activities, because they purify even great souls, na tyajam, they should never be given up. This is Krishna's opinion. Acts of sacrifice, charity, and penance are not to be given up, they must be performed. Indeed, sacrifice, charity, and penance purify even the great souls. And all these activities are meant to ultimately attain Krishna. So now Krishna has given his opinion very unambiguously, very clearly, in no uncertain terms. Krishna says Yajna Dan Tapa must be carried out. What happens further? What Sri Krishna says further in the 18th chapter? We will continue, Krishna willing, next time. And we will continue from text number 6 of the 18th chapter. श्रीमद् भगवद गीता की जय, जगत गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय. Yes, अपूर्व प्रेम प्रभु.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. I believe you've told this before, but I'm just forgetting. Is there any difference between Tyaga and Vairagya?
They are used interchangeably in many places. However, some acharyas have given a subtle difference. Tyaga means to give up the attachment to the fruits of one's work. Tyag means to renounce. Now, Vairagya. It is an interesting word. The word within it is rag. Rag means affinity, attraction, attachment. All these different features are present in rag. Attraction, attachment, affinity, that is called rag. And V prefix is added for negation. So virag means no attachment, no affinity, no attraction. And one who has virag, no attachment, no affinity, no attraction for material things, is called vairagi. And his lack of attachment, affinity, and attraction for material things, that nature is called vairagya. Vairagya means lack of attachment, attraction, and affinity to objects of materialistic sense gratification. So in Tyag, one may have attraction, one may have attachment to Netflix, but one does not log into Netflix because it is Chaturmas. That is called Tyag. For 4 months, I have done Netflix Tyag. Okay? Where are you? Ah, there you are. That is Tyag. Attachment is there. But Vairagya means even if someone gives a 1 month free trial of Netflix, you say, no, Netflix? What will I do? I have no interest. That is Vairagya. There is no Rag. Tyag, there may be attachment, but for the sake of rules and regulations, one does not indulge. But in Vairagya, even if the facility is there, there is no attraction only. So Vairagya is superior to Tyag. This distinction has been made by the Acharyas. But in certain places, those terms are used interchangeably also. Okay? And Uparati is the third stage. It is even superior to Vairagya. Uparati means you don't see those objects of sense gratification as objects of sense gratification. So in Vairagya, you recognize them as objects of sense gratification, but you have no taste. No, I will not do. Like someone keeps a steak in front of you. You'll say, what? People actually pay $50 to buy this in a five-star restaurant? Phew, I don't want. It's so sinful. There is no taste. In Uparati is what Shukdev Goswami had. In Uparati, you don't see, though you don't recognize those objects as objects of sense gratification. When he saw the young girls bathing in the lake, for Shukdev Goswami, looking at the water of the lake and looking at the young girls in the lake was no different. A fish would have come, would have been same, no difference. That is called Uparati, where you don't see them as objects of sense gratification. In Vairagya, you recognize them as objects of sense gratification, but there is no taste for it. In Tyag, you recognize them as objects of sense gratification. There may be some taste for enjoying them, but because of determination, one says, no, no, no. I have taken a vow. I am a Vaishnava. I cannot do this. I will not do it. That is Tyag. So Tyag means to give up because of rules and regulations, even though there is attachment. In Vairagya, you recognize them as objects of sense gratification, but there is no attachment. And in Uparati, you stop seeing those things as something that is worth indulging in. Haribol. Understand the difference? Okay, good. Keshav Madhav Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Baba Sudhan.
Hare.
Am I audible to you?
Yes.
Okay. Today, we discussed about charity, and prior to that, we started with donations. So, I wanted to understand the actual mood in which, if in case a devotee seeks donation or some kind of charity for, say, building a temple or for Janmashtami, then what would be the mood of that particular person? Why am I asking this question? Is because many a times we go out requesting for donations for charity. However, uh, should it be because it is necessary? That donation is necessary for the temple. So, how should our mood be? I have a subsequent question, but if in case we can just.
Thank you, dear Keshav Madhav Prabhu, for a very nice question. Hare Krishna. The mood should be what Lord Krishna is explaining. We don't expect any upakar, upakar. We don't expect anything in return for the charity. We do it for the sake of Krishna, Om Tat Sat, and we don't do it for enhancing our reputation. We don't do it grudgingly. We do it with a smile, happily, because it is the right thing to do. Because everything belongs to Krishna. So when we give a donation, Tvadiya Vastu Govinda, Tadiyanam Samarpana. This your thing, everything belongs to you. Your thing I'm giving back to you. So all the wealth that we have, all the money we have, it is all belonging to Krishna. Manasa Deha Geha Jo Kishumor Arpilu Tuapade Ananda Kishore. However, we are caretakers of that fund, whatever wealth is assigned to us.
Right.
And it is our duty to allocate and utilize that wealth in a proper way. Some of it will be for the temples. Some of it will be for some other things, like there is Jhulan coming. So we would like to buy some flowers for Radha Vrajachandra, Radha Shamasundar, Radha Govinda. We want to buy some flowers for them. Or it could be to purchase some bhoga for Krishna. We want to donate a bag of rice to the temple or to the Bhakti Vriksha. And that rice will be cooked by devotees over time, and it will be offered to Radha Vrajachandra, and it will be offered to the devotees as Mahaprasad. So it is Hari Seva and it is Vaishnava Seva, both. So like that, we have to see which cause is dear to our heart. Which charitable cause within Krishna consciousness resonates most with us? It could be building big temples. It could be supporting some devotee who is having financial distress. It could be donating for a festival. It could be purchasing the flight tickets of some sadhus who are traveling. Bhurida jana, bhuvi grinantiye. You want to facilitate their prachar. And that is also seva. Someone may give for Go Seva. Someone may give for Barsana Eye Camp, for Vrajvasi medical help. Someone may donate to some Annakshetra in the Dham for the sake for the service, prasad service of sadhus. All these are glorious activities. All these are transcendental. All this will help us progress spiritually. Only thing is, our mood should be that I am doing it happily. I am not doing it because someone is forcing me to. I am doing it with Shraddha and I'm doing it with Seva Bhav. And Seva Bhav means to please the recipient of our service. We are doing it to please whoever is the recipient. It may be the Dhambasi, it may be Bhakti Riksha members. We want to please them. So that is the mood. I'm doing this to please Hari, Guru, and Vaishnavas. That's all. Is that helpful, Prabhuji? You can ask the second
That is
question.
very good. Yes. Do we have time for a continual
Yes,
or
Prabhuji. We have
Punaravritti?
missed several classes, so we'll take and then we'll take last question, Sundarangi Radha Mataji.
So, Vijay, now the flip side of it, that same question, flip side of it. So, supposedly, I'm seeking donation, I'm seeking some charity, and I'm thinking that that charity, because I'm utilizing this for Krishna's service, it is going to benefit the person who is actually giving that charity. It is also going to benefit the person who is offering that charity. Even though it might be begrudgingly, even though it might be out of a bit of force, out of peer pressure, or out of relationship that he or she has to provide that charity that I have sought out. And post receiving that charity, while I would definitely donate it back to the temple or for some purpose, Krishna conscious purpose, that person may not be really very happy giving that charity. So there are three different moods over here. One, I am accepting charity solely for the purpose of offering it back to Krishna. Two, I am thinking that I am asking them so that it will benefit them. And three, they are not happy providing charity. In fact, behind my back, they might be even abusing,
Abusing means criticizing you.
criticizing. Yes, blasphemy or criticizing. Agree.
So that is not good because anudvega karam vakyam satyam priya hitam chayat swadhyaya abhyasanam chaiva vagmayam tapa uchyate. So these criteria should be met when we speak to people asking charity. And hitam may be there, but if it is not done in a pleasing way or if it causes udveg,
Mm-hmm.
agitation in their consciousness, ki yaar, I cannot say no to Keshav Madhav Prabhu also. He's just pestering me. He's kind of twisting my arm into giving charity. He's coercing me. Then charity is given begrudgingly. And charity given begrudgingly immediately drops down to the lower modes. So that is not advisable. Now see, chanting Hare Krishna is good for everyone.
Correct.
Even though majority people on the road don't want to do it. What if I go around with a pistol and I pointing the pistol at person and say, I will let you go, just say Hare Krishna once. Hare Krishna, yes, good. I go to next one. Hands up, say Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Okay, go. So I'm getting people to chant Hare Krishna until police comes and arrests me and puts me in jail. I got several people to chant Hare Krishna, but and they will eternally benefit. That benefit of chanting Hare Krishna will never be taken away from them. All that is true, but that is not the mood of our prachar. The mood of our prachar is not to just benefit people by giving them namabhas or danabhas in case of charity dan. The purpose of our prachar is to evoke Krishna Prem in their hearts. Prema Pumartho Mahan. And their Sukriti may be delayed if we take a mature approach, but it will be done in a more sustainable way if we just leave them with a positive impression. That is more important than coercing them into buying a $350 Bhagavatam set and then they feeling cheated, they feeling pressured, and then, you know, criticizing the devotees that, my God, these devotees are such a nuisance, such pests. I had gone to buy $50 grocery in Patel Brothers and I ended up buying $350 Bhagavatam, which I'm never going to read. I don't even believe in what this book is about. And really, I don't have time, I don't have the aptitude. And they open the introduction and everything goes above their head. They don't know anything what is mentioned in the Bhagavatam. They don't understand the technical terms and they shut it and it remains forever on their bookshelves. That is not good. Book distribution should be done in a way that they feel inspired to purchase and they have some follow up, they have some support system after they buy the book set, and it is done out of their own volition, not pressured, not hard selling things. Similarly, we should not pressure people into giving charity because it will leave them with a bad aftertaste, and that is not good. We have to leave them with a good, sweet taste. We have to leave them with a positive impression of devotees because that will help them in the long term. So our vision should be to evoke Krishna Prem in their heart. And if they are not interested, we should simply pray for them, give them some prasad and move on. And same thing with dan, with charity. If someone we know is not a well-wisher or is not really interested, doesn't really have faith, uh, asking them for donation and thinking that they will get benefited and I'm going to give it to Krishna, that type of manipulative techniques, those types of manipulative techniques are not, in my opinion, they are not sustainable and they are not acceptable. Radheshyam Prabhu tells a story. Please listen carefully. Once in certain congregation, I will not name the city or the country, but it's a true story. A temple was being constructed, and the spiritual master was going to visit that town, that temple. The temple president was a disciple of this guru, spiritual master, and there was a businessman in the congregation who also was a disciple of this particular guru. Before the visit, the spiritual master called up the temple president and asked the temple president, how is the fundraising going on for the temple? Do you think we will be able to complete it this year? And the temple president said, my dear Guru Maharaj, um, the fundraising is not really going so well. Unfortunately, we have emptied our wells and everything is quite dry right now. The congregation has already donated enough and now there's not much coming in. So the spiritual master thought for a moment and said, Acha, what about that devotee who is the businessman? Did you ask him? Can he help us? So the temple president said, Guru Maharaj, I will find out. I will ask. I will try. Okay, see if he can help. All right, what else? I'm coming in few days and see you this weekend. We'll have nice programs. Hari Katha. Hari Bol. And end of conversation. Temple president goes to that god brother who is a businessman and says Guru Maharaj had called and Guru Maharaj wants you to donate 7 lakh rupees for the temple by this weekend before Guru Maharaj comes. He had 2 lakh rupees cash. He went to the bank and took a personal loan of 5 lakh rupees and donated 7 lakh rupees because Guru Maharaj said, Guru Mukha Padmavakya Chitete Korea Aike Arana Karyo Manash. I cannot disobey the orders of spiritual master. Guru Ravagya, it's Ramaprad. I cannot do that. Guru Maharaj said, now I have to, you know, do what it takes. So he took a loan and gave. During that visit to that congregation, the Guru Maharaj happened to see that businessman. And the temple president said that he gave 7 lakhs. We are good now. We should be able to finish the construction. This is several years ago. So the Guru Maharaj visited the house of that businessman devotee and profusely thanked him that it was very generous of you, big help for Srila Prabhupada's mission. This temple will benefit many people in this community. They will come and they will get connected to Krishna consciousness. I'm very grateful to you for your generous donation. So this devotee said, Gurudev, it was your order and I cannot refuse your order. So he says, what do you mean order? I never gave any order that you should donate. He said, the temple president told me that it was your order. So I took 5 lakh loan, personal loan. The temple president had lied. The spiritual master was aghast to hear this. Said, what nonsense? And then the temple president was called and chastised. And he said, well, how much my god brother will make advancement by pleasing you? See how he has pleased you. It is good for him. I am his well-wishing god brother. That's why I just spoke a little white lie, Gurudev. But it's for everyone's benefit. Yes, Prabhuji. So therefore, we have to be very careful because if this attitude is not nipped in the bud, it can degenerate into something as sinister as this. This particular Vaishnava, the businessman, was actually having a lot of business losses. His business was not doing well. He himself was going under when this so-called order came. And now he was further deeper into debt. He also had children to get married. He also had children to educate. He also had his EMI to pay. He also has his business overhead expenditures. And now he's in a much worse situation because of this over-enthusiastic temple president god brother. So one has to be very careful. Sometimes we become so project oriented, and that is not the right approach to get our projects done. We lose our touch with humanity. Therefore, my spiritual master always says, Srila Radhanath Swami Maharaj, that I am not a project man. I am not a project oriented leader. I am a people oriented person. Maharaj says, when there is a project, I don't like to throw devotees at a project. Acha, this project is there. 1, 2, 3, 4, you come on, go. That's throwing people at projects. Maharaj, that is not the approach. You nourish the devotees with Hari Katha and Hari Nam. And when they feel inspired to do something for Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, for Srila Prabhupada, for this movement, and they take up project, then project can be thrown at people. Not thrown. They take the project on their lap instead of throwing people at projects. People take projects upon themselves because they're inspired. That is the right approach. So we have to be people oriented, not project oriented. So what if we don't get charity? We can preach at home. We can preach in rental places. Take a community hall and rent it for the weekend and do it. But we should always leave devotees with a good feeling, with a positive feeling. That is very important. Because if they are inspired, they are happy, then they will do a lot of service. But even if we somehow twist their arm and extract some donation from them and leave them with a bad aftertaste, in the long run, A, they will not donate in the future, and B, they will not become devotees. So we are being penny wise and pound foolish. Is that okay, Prabhuji?
Very grateful.
Those are all my thoughts. Hare Krishna. One may accept or one may not accept. Last question, Sundarangi Radha Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam, Jai Shri Prabhupada, Jai Shri Prabhupada. Prabhuji, my question is, how do you identify who is a worthy recipient? Like, people may pose as a worthy recipient. People might bring up to you like they're in a financial, so for example, a devotee might bring up to you as if they're in a financial trouble. Like, how do you decipher? Or a temple might pose in saying that we need funds for, building this. And sometimes when you actually go deeper, like the example that you have mentioned might surface. So how do we discern who is a right recipient?
Saralta hi Vaishnavata. A devotee is supposed to be straightforward. And unfortunately, pure devotion is rare. Sudurlabha. Uttama Bhakti is Sudurlabha. So Uttamadhikari Vaishnavas who are Sarala are also not common. So yeah, we may come across devotees who have material motivations, and it may be difficult to discern who is genuine and who is not genuine. But we have to use our intelligence, and sometimes we have to make ourselves vulnerable also. We do our due diligence, we use our intelligence, and then we give. Part of being straightforward and simple, Saral Vaishnava, simple Vaishnava, is to make ourselves vulnerable, which means sometimes, yeah, we become vulnerable knowingly that this devotee may be lying to me, this devotee may be cheating. But Krishna will not see that. Krishna will see what is our intention. Our intention was to give charity for a genuine cause. And if the recipient pretends to have patrata, pretends to have qualification, but then misuses the funds, then it is on the recipient, not on the donor. Because the donor gave after due diligence in good faith. Now, if the recipient has a change of mind, or the recipient was duplicitous to begin with, had ulterior motives to begin with, and then misuses the money, then it's on the recipient, not the donor. Krishna will see what was your intention when you gave. Of course, we have to do our due diligence. We have to use our intelligence also. And then leave the rest to Krishna, because part of bhakti culture is to make ourselves vulnerable. If we are very, very uptight and tight-fisted and very strict, show me black and white, show me your last 3 months of bank statements, show me this, that is not practical. That means we have become very hard-hearted. So we have to be trustworthy, and we have to trust others also. But of course, we have to remember the old adage, do not test the depth of water with both legs. Hare Krishna. Don't test the depth of water with both legs. So you can give little bit and see how it goes. And if it is genuine, the devotee proves the test of time, and everything comes out good, then you can give little more. But don't test the depth of water with both legs. Which means if one doesn't know how to swim, and someone says, hey, what is the depth of the water? The depth of the water is 20 feet. And instead of, holding onto one tree branch and with one leg trying to see how deep, we just jump. Let me see how deep it is. And boom. So that should not happen. So it's not that someone comes and says, I want some charity, and we say, okay, I will give you $200,000. Take. Khadam. 20 साल का donation quota दे दिया. And then turns out that the person was bluffing. He was a cheater. Then hi. Not like that. Instead, give $108. See how things are. See how that devotee is situated. And then slowly, you can have more trust. But little bit, we have to make ourselves vulnerable also. Everything cannot be in black and white always. But we should do our due diligence. Does this help, Mataji? Sundarangi Radha Mataji?
Yes, Prabhu, this definitely helps. I think the analogy of testing the water with two legs resonated a lot. Because sometimes there is this confusion, like, especially when you go to dhams, yes, it is power, like, you understand the situation. It is materially speaking, like they are below the poverty line, so they're forced to ask in a certain way. Like, where do you have the heart versus where do you have the discernment? Like, you are understanding that they're asking because they don't really have anything to eat, and then do you actually give them that way, or or you are like, no, 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 they are not asking in the right mood. So that is where I have a lot of conflict, Prabhu. Um, like, how do we take that?
In the Journey Home book, my Guru Maharaj, Srila Radhanath Swami Maharaj writes, the real hunger is not of the stomach in this world. The real
Mm,
hunger is the hunger of the heart.
mm,
If satisfying the hunger of people, satisfying the roti, kapda, makan, food, shelter, and clothing requirement of the indigent population of this world was the primary aim, then Srila Prabhupada would have started International Society for Food for Life
mm,
or clothes for the body
mm,
or medicine for the disease. But Srila Prabhupada started International Society for Krishna Consciousness, which means we should be paradukka dukhi, we should help, we should get medicines, we should give food, we should give clothes, but that is not the ultimate aim of our life. At some point, we have to detach ourselves from charity. Everything has to be balanced.
mhm,
Otherwise, if we cannot see anybody hungry and we want everybody to have access to medicines, we want everybody to be appropriately clothed according to the weather. Now it is raining in Atlanta right now. Everybody should have umbrella. In the winter, everybody should have jacket, blanket. In the summer, everybody should have nice, comfortable cotton clothes. If this becomes the aim, then we can spend all our money, all our resources, all our time in trying to meet the scarcity of food, shelter, and clothing and still not be able to do even 1% of what needs to be done. The needs for charity in this world, because it is dukkhalayama shashvatam, the need is unlimited. Our
mm,
resources are finite. Need is infinite.
mm,
Our resources are finite. Our time is finite. And the aim of life is to do bhajan, name ruchi, jive doya, and Vaishnava sevan. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Name ruchi jibe doya Vaishnava sevan, eitin chadi dharma nahi suna bhaktagan. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu instructs all of us that Name ruchi, develop taste for Harinam, chant Harinam in japa and loudly in kirtan, both. Jibe doya, and get others to chant, get others to turn towards Krishna favorably, anukulena Krishna Anushilana Bhakti Uttama, and Vaishnava sevan. Serve the Vaishnavas. प्रभु कहे वैष्णव सेवा नाम संकीर्तन दुई करह शीघ्र पावे श्री कृष्ण चरण. We have to serve the Vaishnavas. Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Seva means to serve, and Bhagavat means both the Grantha Bhagavat and the Bhakta Bhagavat. So we have to serve the devotees. We have to share Krishna consciousness with others, and we can also share Krishna Prasad. We can also share medicines where it is needed. We can also give clothes where it is needed. But that cannot be the main focus of our sadhana. And we have to develop taste for the holy name. So Name Ruchi, Jive Doya, Vaishnava Sevan, Eitin Chhadi Dharma Nahi Shuno Bhaktagan, Mahaprabhu says. So I'll tell you one story. There was once one devotee, he was doing Govardhan Parikrama. He was a young sannyasi. He gave up his family, everything, not a ISKCON devotee, just someone who took shelter of Vrindavan Dham. He left his native place, moved to Vrindavan as a Vairagi, and every day he used to do Vrindavan Parikrama. An early morning, 3 o'clock he would start. One early morning around 5 o'clock he was at Keshi Ghat doing Parikrama. And he heard the bzzz, 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 buzzing sound of houseflies. And there was some stench also. So at Keshi Ghat on one of the steps he looked closely. There was hardly any light, and he saw someone half covered with a blanket and lot of houseflies, fleas sitting on his body, buzzing. Bzzz. And that person was not even moving. So he thought, did somebody pass away? So he reached and he touched the shoulder and said, Baba, Baba. So he opened his eyes and says, Pani, Pani pilao, I'm thirsty. Some Brajvasi had a torch. They came, they shone some light on this person, and it turned out he was a Babaji, maybe in his 60s, riddled with leprosy, and his leprosy ulcers had become all infected. He had perhaps not eaten in days. He was emaciated, thin, just skin and bones, and very, very frail. So this Babaji who was doing parikrama, he went and brought some drinking water. Aluminium dabba. He brought drinking water and fed him water. He drank water. Then he said, Baba, what else can I do for you? Because now his whole body is covered with ulcers and pus and houseflies and who knows, maggots, worms. So this Babaji who was suffering from leprosy, he said, if possible, take me to Sudama Kutir. Sudama Kutir is a place in Vrindavan Dham where it's like a dharmashala where many sadhus live who have nowhere to go, and it's free. So this young Babaji, Vairagi, who was doing parikrama, was young and strong, and this leprosy Babaji was very, very thin and weak and lightweight. So he was able to pick him up, and he walked and walked and walked and went to Sudama Kutir. And in Sudama Kutir, there are many people like this, poor people who are staying. So he found a corner and put the Babaji there. And then now he could stay, he could, dress his wounds, he could get him new clothes, take him to a hospital, doctor, and do months and months of treatment for the leprosy. And then there are 1,000 other people there with leprosy. It's a never-ending thing. But this Babaji, who carried him to Sudama Kutir, he found him a nice corner in Sudama Kutir, placed him there gently, and asked him, is there anything I can do? He said, some more water. So again, he went and got some water and then offered his obeisances and continued with his parikrama. After 2-3 days, he came back to Sudama Kutir to check on this Babaji, and he was not there. He asked other residents and some managers there, and they said, you brought him, and the very next day, he died. He passed away, and we all sadhus, we cremated his body, did his last rites, Antyeshti Kriya and everything. So this Babaji continued. The moral of the story is, we should help, like he carried him all the way to Sudama Kutir, brought him water twice. We should help, but we have to understand our limitations. Philanthropic help and health for the body, the demand is infinite, and our life is not meant just for taking care of the lepers, and it's all glorious, but really that is ultimately philanthropy. And to some extent we do it, but that cannot be the main focus of our life. It's not the main mission of our life. The main mission is to connect with Krishna, because in this life we can cure leprosy, but in the next life there will be tuberculosis. In the next life there will be cancer. In the next life there will be stroke. There will be heart attack. There are millions of ways of dying in this world and becoming afflicted with ailments, diseases. How much can we do? So we have to understand this is a losing war. Saving the body is a losing battle. It's not worth investing too much in it. But what is more important is to invest in Krishna consciousness. Swalpamapyasya dharmasya trayate mahata bhayat. Little bit spiritual progress they make. So that is the focus. So little bit detachment also we should have when we see suffering in this world. Otherwise we will become overwhelmed with the suffering of others. Paradukha Dukhi will make us overwhelmed. We have to associate with the pure devotees, we have to associate with the positivity also, so that we become Parasukha Sukhi also. Otherwise, if we just focus on alleviating dukkha in this world, we'll become dukhi and we'll become non-operational. It is called paralysis by analysis. Too much if we try to solve the problems, analyze the problems of this world, we'll be trapped. It's a black hole. So we do help, but it cannot be the prime focus of our life. Prime focus is Krishna consciousness, whether we are in health or we are in ill health. Krishna consciousness must continue. That is the Jaiva Dharma, the Dharma of the soul. Is that okay, Mataji?
Yes, Prabhu. Thank you so much, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Jai Jai Shri Radhe.